All right. Before we do the recap, 2 points of order. Thinking about inspiration while I discuss the other point.
I can't hear John.
Check, check.
I hear
Yeah,
him.
better. Sorry.
Okay. We are approaching a moment, a position in the game. No, let me back up. Quick meta discussion. When it comes to things meta, which means outside of the characters in the D&D world, would you guys prefer us to have a meta style conversation about something upcoming in the game because of real world time constraints and concerns? Or would you rather me tell you nothing about like behind the curtainy stuffs and just know that there might be a week somewhere in the near future where I just have to say, I'm not ready this week. Sorry, we have to punt. Megan and we've got a busy couple of weeks coming up, and we are heading towards a like left or right phase of the game where you're going to be at a crossroads. And what I would normally do is build both left and right options, and then whatever we don't use, I'll try to repurpose somewhere down the road or in another game or something. But I just know that I will not have time to prep both sides of the crossroads this time around. So I hate having the meta discussion of asking you guys like a week ahead of time, here's a choice you're going to be given. What is your most likely decision going to be? But the alternative is that if we don't do that, we may very well, like if I prep one and you guys decide to go the other, it could be like and we're done for today because I guessed wrong, and I will see you all in 2 weeks. And I don't know which of those is preferable to you. Like if you'd rather just maintain the full mystique of the campaign, in which case we may very well end up with a down week because I'm not prepared, or if you don't mind a little bit of peek behind the curtain, and we could talk about what you think your character would most likely choose to do if given a choice, and then I can sort of prep for that eventuality, and then maybe we don't miss any days.
If giving us hints, can you give them to us in an obscure enough way that we won't specifically know what's happening, but that we can give you an idea of how our character might respond in a similar situation?
Yeah, I would try to avoid like direct spoilers.
I'm good either way. Having a week off isn't a bad thing either.
I was just going to say, I will be in Seattle next weekend. So I am definitely out next weekend. So if someone else is out.
Actually, I'm out next weekend as well because I got a wedding.
Done. Next weekend
So
can
maybe
be the weekend off.
so maybe you have time to prep.
Then we got to get cracking today. All right.
Yes, sir.
I think that's my answer, and we'll see how far we get today.
Yeah, if we get to the end and we're not close enough, just give us the options. Yeah, I think for your sake, I think that's fair for you.
Okay. Inspiration. Before we do the recap, or is the inspiration easier after we do the recap so everybody's kind of got the events fresh in their mind space?
Who at this point doesn't have an inspiration token?
I don't think Renan does. Hoppy doesn't. I don't think. Don't give it to me. Give it to someone that's.
Mine, but I was going to say that Draco, if he doesn't have one, probably deserves it because he thought of using water walking to get to the druid.
That's why I was gonna ask, because if he doesn't have one,
I
then
do.
I think
I do.
you do. Okay.
I don't need to be inspired too often, so I kind of hoard it a little too long.
You should be inspiring other people.
I do constantly. Yeah, I literally walked on water. Come on, how inspiring!
So
we should give it to Michelle for absolutely botching the chest.
Crack. What was that? That's not a good sound.
You know what? The odds were in my favor. No, I don't want it to not lose, and how I lost that. Whatever. There's nothing in there we wanted.
Can't we give it to you for being the better sister because none of us like Sorry at the moment?
I mean, here we are back in high school. Here's your popularity token. Thanks. Thanks, Hoppy. I knew I was the favorite.
So it might be a good time to revisit the discussion. When we first started using inspiration, I told you guys that I I love the idea of it, but that mechanically it tends to just kind of fall apart like somewhere near level 6 or 7 because people just don't find it useful often enough, or it's the same person that gets awarded the same token over and over and over again. And since you're only ever supposed to have one, there's, I told you we revisit the conversation, middle-ish of the campaign. And while I'm not saying that's where we are, now might be a good time to talk about it again. Is it still fun? Do we still like doing it? And one of the changes we talked about was being able to stack multiple tokens. I don't like the idea of like Oni just collecting 20 tokens until we hit a boss battle and then just auto critting every round. You know what I mean? Like I spend 15 inspiration tokens until I get a crit. I don't like that. I think that's kind of abusive. But I wouldn't mind like saying we could stack to 3 maybe. That way, just today we could give Zach the inspiration token and it's not wasted. What do you guys think?
I honestly think that it's kind of min maxy to worry about if he actually has a inspiration token, and we should just, if he already has one, then oh well, because he really, unless somebody can come up with another person that deserves it, uh, uh, we kind of all did our own things. Well, Ani tried to down talk down our consultants.
I mean,
So
Draco does want to kill the guy that he just saved, so I feel like an inspiration token is definitely deserved for his session last week.
Okay,
He
so
straight up
you're going to
wanted to
give
murder
him
that
the
guy.
means to kill the person. Great.
Technically, we're
Cool.
gonna give him the means
Thanks, Meg.
twice because he'd be the first one to get to.
All
right.
I'm okay with, like I said, I think that Draco probably deserved it, or Megan for Ani for uh, getting the consultants.
Yeah, question then: if we do the stacking, how soon after using one inspiration token do you get to use your second one? Like if you go, oh that sucked, oh that sucked, you know?
As long as we're limiting it to 3, I don't mind if you want to spend all 3 on the same roll.
Okay.
I think that's fair. I think if we were to uncap it, say, and just the nightmare scenario of Megan having 20, that's probably something I would never allow to happen. But
Right.
I think if you want to bank all 3 and just turn a critical fail into a critical fail into a normal fail, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I added a new thing on your character sheet, Draco. Next to wild shape under short rest, long rest, it now says inspiration total 3, current 2. So you can tick that down.
I'll do that right when I see it.
That's where I put mine too. Just I only have one token, but this way.
Yeah. Everybody else, I think, was just using the inspiration checkbox with the dragon icon. But if we're gonna go to a world where we're tracking multiples, then that might be the best way to do it.
Where did you say it is again? Sorry,
right column of the character sheet, you have like personality traits, ideals,
Yeah.
bonds, and flaws. If you
Short
follow
rest,
that
long
down,
rest.
and then
Oh,
just below
I
that,
found it. There you go. I see it. Thank you. Yeah.
of course. All right. Somebody give us the 90-second recap, and then we'll jump into it.
Okay, we have to deal with the ring though. Do you want to do that before the recap, or do you want to do that after?
Why don't you recap the acquisition of the ring, and then what we did last session, and then we can go.
Okay, we fought I am going to describe her as a serpent woman that looks like Cassiopeia from TFT, but I don't think that's actually what she looked like. But in my imagination, that's what she looked like. And she drugged us and almost killed us. But we killed her, and she had a ring that has a little like claspy thing on it, so it looks like it opens, but we put it in our inventory to investigate later because we were so damaged and afraid that we were gonna die that we didn't look at it, and then we went back to the town, and then we got distracted by other story things. So it's just been sitting in inventory.
That all sounds right to me.
Great. And then last session, previously on D&D, you guys are gonna have to help me out. We
stole the boat was
Wait,
the end of
go.
the
Wait,
last
let
session.
Megan. Well, okay.
we stole the boat. Yes. We had departed in the previous session, and then we searched the boat, and Renan found a dark corridor that had noises and a weird like pear-shaped stone or oval stone that had scratch marks around it that looked like it moved. And then we ended up having to fight the first mate named Longtooth?
Yeah,
Sharptooth?
that sounds right.
What was his name?
Longtooth, I think it was.
Longtooth.
Longtooth.
Yep.
And then we beat him into submission because he and his people were trying to burn the boat, not realizing that they would also die on the ship. And then we beat them into submission and talked them into being our consultants so that we could set them free. And now they're kind of working for us, but not as the first mate. And they're very happy with that plan. And then as we were cruising along, we noticed the sharks and the seabirds doing weird things, and like all of the animal life near us in the ocean was going to this one spot on the map. So we went to investigate it, and there was a raft with a man on it. And then Draco and Hoppy did some crazy stuff, got the man off of the raft and onto our ship, to which we find out that he is a special kind of druid that has been banished by the circle of druids that run everything, and Draco wanted to kill him because that means he's a bad guy if those druids wanted him dead.
No, don't throw it.
And we've locked
Sorry.
his magic is locked, so he can't use it because of the crown and the monocles on his hands and
Manacles.
manacles, not monocles.
Monocle.
Monocle. And I think that's it.
Brought him back on the boat. We left him in shackles for now.
And he's
We
got the
haven't decided
hots
what
for
to do.
Renan.
Hell yeah.
Doesn't
Mhm.
matter.
He likes little girls. Ew. it got-
You made it gross.
Weird.
You made it gross.
And now you're a robot. Ah!
I can't hear anything.
I hear you.
I made
I
a
was-
funny joke, and
I
then
was trying to avoid having the conversation of like, in certain cultures, 16 is a totally accepted. You know, it's just like, I'm just gonna die.
yeah, I know that as well, but no,
It just feels funny to say.
And not
yeah,
the good
just
kind
leave
of
it
funny.
alone.
Not the good funny either.
Sometimes you just find yourself on a hill that you do not want to die on.
That's not a hill to even get on top of. Nope.
Yeah. Just like, oh my god, what am I saying?
hmm
You chose to be 16.
All right.
You know, there could be a birthday coming up real soon.
I mean,
Making her
17 is not.
Yeah.
Oh, look, a wish spell. We need to somebody to be 5 years older. Yes.
See, I'm 36/immortal, so half plus 7 is. All right, so we pick up here. We were just about to board the payday and resume our course, looking for this hidden island of Chamenos. Anybody have anything before? Like, just we picked. I think we ended right here in the midst of post combat. I don't think anybody was significantly harmed. Hoppy got a little bit of a bite.
And we were pretty solid. And I was, like I said, just about to try to execute this dude.
Do we have short rest or let's move forward?
So you guys are on a boat in the middle of nowhere. You can take long rests all day, as far as I'm concerned. That's the Caribbean life.
So while we're doing our short rest and the guy is safely secured and getting fed and watered.
Poisoned water.
No, not poisoned
Yes.
water.
Hey, yes, I could have easily done that.
Renan's gonna make sure that he stays safe. Let's talk about this ring. I don't know who has it in their inventory. I do not.
You're muted again, Michelle.
That's why it's so peaceful.
I don't have it, but
I wonder if we put it in the bag of holding.
It's probably like the general.
yeah, it's probably in the back of holding.
I know Amon doesn't have it because he wasn't with us when we fought her. So let's maybe take it out from the bag of holding and see if Draco can investigate it.
No, I hated that.
Okay, we don't have to do that.
No. Sorry, I was
kidding,
talking to Caleb. It was in the bag of holding. I've taken it out of the bag of holding, but I'm not giving Draco shit right now.
Okay.
I'll be like, Draco, you little bitch. You're
Oh.
not getting anything until you calm down.
Then we can
Oh.
maybe have Sari investigate it, or Sari's friend.
The person that we trust so much.
You apparently trust her more than you trust me at the moment.
Don't be a twat waffle. I don't know if you can see this. It's probably backwards, huh?
Just got called.
Zach
a
is like
waffle.
real life. Zach is like, I did not get enough sleep for this bitch today. Sorry, real life Zach. I like you.
That's all good. I'm
Probably
laughing.
Googling twat waffle.
Yeah, let's give it to Sari. I don't actually. Draco can investigate it. I'm just kidding. Tell
All I
us
can do
what
is-
this.
All I can do is like detect magic, and if I recognize it.
I mean, that's a
So
start.
she.
Just to refresh everybody, that's what it looks like. If
Yeah.
we hand it to Draco, as you explore the inner workings, it is apparently what's called a compartment ring.
That's where she stores her coke.
Yes,
I
it's-
was
it's
literally
perfect
just about to say it's the
for a
good
small
Coke
bulk
in there.
Yep,
I mean, she was the Lotus person, right? The Black Lotus.
Yeah.
she
Yep.
really was.
Yeah, but she had bags of the stuff around her.
Just open
Probably
it up,
not
stick
her
your
bag.
pinky in, rub it on your teeth, tell us how it works.
Well, I did take a good hit of it, while we were fighting her.
Yeah.
I think I had the most out of everybody.
Yeah, I think I was the only person that didn't get high.
As you run your finger, Draco, across the surface of the compartment, there's a shimmer for a moment, like a. It honestly, it looks sort of like an illusion field created by some kind of magic. You've seen illusion spells before, but it has that sort of opalescence to it. I'd like you to make an Arcana check.
Okay. 19.
Yeah. Good job.
That's pretty.
Oh
I'm
my
a
god,
magic
Zeke.
man.
Leave Deja alone. Hey,
Um,
Deja.
As you continue to fiddle with it, you find that there are 3 specific points where if you apply, thumb, index finger, and index finger again, you can basically cause the illusion that you were sort of transparently seeing by touch to manifest. And it looks sort of like a game board of some kind, with a bunch of movable sigils that are intended to match a pattern, and it looks a little something like this.
Ooh.
Ooh, we get to play a
Puzzle.
game? I
Puzzle,
love games.
puzzle.
All of these tiles should be movable by everybody. I know that in the past we've had issues with grabby hands. Would we like to attempt an adult style free for all, or would we like to roll initiative and then each player can get 1 minute to play with the toys?
Free for all. Free for all.
Initiative. And stop it. Initiative, you ass. I know it's Zach.
I mean, I can't see for sure, but that's my money.
You can't just assume that the colors match up with the I swear to God.
Oh, that didn't work, guys.
Oh, and now we're down. Oh,
It's
Light.
because I tried to flip it and it disappeared. Where did
What'd
it
you
go?
try and flip?
Oh, undo.
Oh, guys.
I
You better
clicked on
play.
a white one and tried to flip it, and then it disappeared.
Great.
Yeah.
Meg's breaking the game,
I
John.
lost the
Put her
one
in
of the
timeout.
white tokens.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that.
Do you have to take us off this board and put us on another? So when I right click, I have an undo option, and
Yeah,
it
please
doesn't
try to
do,
undo it.
It doesn't do anything. I've tried it twice. You can roll back the stream and watch me try to undo it. Nope, nothing.
Hey.
Did I
What does-
break it?
What does she need?
Sorry.
I'm sorry. We're babysitting Deja, and she's just standing next to me talking. And I'm like, I don't know what you need, dog. You have everything.
She definitely
Sorry,
needs.
I got
There's a child at
distracted.
first.
She needs some kind of attention. If she's telling you there is something, does she have water?
I'm touching her actively. I mean, not at the current moment, but I've been petting her, and I'm like, "What? You have water? You just had a full foods?"
Pati? Does she get to go potty?
How is she doing?
She's good.
Oh, good.
She actually is getting her stitches out today.
Awesome.
Her cone's really gross, or else I would show you her very cute face.
That's okay. It happens.
Please enjoy this beautiful desert sunrise while I figure out what the fuck Megan did.
All it did was try to rotate it. I wasn't sure if that was allowed or not.
You are sleeping in the doghouse tonight, Megan.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it.
Whew. Suddenly, you know.
See, hence
seeing,
when he says, "Do you want me to throw in a turn tracker?" and everyone just starts fucking around. And guess who found out? All of us. Here he was saying, "We got to get started. We got to get to the meat of the game today so we can get to the point." And then first thing, we fuck it up.
Okay, roll initiative. I won't touch my hands. My hands. I'm not
No,
touching
no,
anything.
I'm not sure how you did that. What happened is you moved that token beneath the map layer, which you don't have permission to do. I'm not sure how that happened, but
Oh, okay. But
Hey.
you
I just had
find it.
I just had to take all 3 layers apart, and it was just hiding on the map layer. But I don't. Whatever
Cool.
you did, please don't do that again.
All I did was try to flip it. So.
Let's
did
do the
actually
turn
flip the whole
tracker.
board.
These at all?
Game
Let's
Let's
master.
assume that they're in the right order. Or the right
Orientation can be
orientation.
changed, but if you
Well-
select it, you get that like external box.
Yeah.
In the example of
And-
this green one in the upper right-hand corner, if you click on it, you'll see to the north of it there's a single blue box, and if you click and hold that blue box, you can rotate it.
Oh, okay.
That is the
Hey, wait.
only way you can rotate things.
I right-clicked and there was a flip option, and that must have moved it. I am playing with the new Roll20, like the beta version. Though.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe there's just something weird about the permissions.
Shouldn't be, but
Is-
maybe. I mean,
Do you want us to roll
Do we need
initiative?
to?
sure. I'll explain the game a little bit now that everybody can see it. Oh, I guess nobody's got their character
Tokens,
selected.
Well-
That was my mistake.
I just blame you for
We-
that. Sorry.
We can handle this, John. We'll just take turns.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty easy to do. Draco's first with a 19. Or no,
Yeah,
Amon's.
14.
Sorry, yeah.
That's my Arcana.
Draco first with a 14, then Oni with a 13, then Amon with a 12, Michelle with an 11, and Hoppy with a 5. I don't know why I called you Michelle.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Who the fuck are you right now? I don't know how to do that. I've tried so many times. Renan.
Right underneath your text box.
No, don't
there's-
tell me. No, don't tell
I don't
me.
want to be responsible for that knowledge.
Okay.
Zach, you've heard of these kinds of puzzles before. They are arcane locks, but they're specifically tied to runic magic, which is not a school of magic you are particularly familiar with. Popular amongst the shamans of the wastes. The idea is that there are 3 different types of schools of magic represented here by 3 colors, and then each of the sigils on a stone represents a specific spell.
Mhm.
You have to match the spell on each axis of the stone to all other stones that it touches, and each school of magic must be in its own color. So in other words, red stones must be on red squares, and
Right.
then every one of the axis icons must match in every one of the neighboring tiles.
Gotcha. That's actually pretty easy in a sense. The idea of it is pretty easy. I like it.
All right, Draco, you have 1 minute. Go.
Okay, first, go put everything on in their colors.
Knew it was Zach.
It was. I admitted it right away.
I know.
I thought it was hilarious. Okay, so you guys are welcome. I went ahead and put everything where they needed to be, and we got an extra one. Ooh, it's trickier now. So now we match up our designs, guys. So I'm gonna pull you away. Oh, where did you go? Don't go over there. There you go. This is harder
How long
on
does he
this than I
get?
thought. He
15
said
seconds.
one. I'm almost there, guys. You're welcome for taking the brunt of this for you in the beginning. Unless John's
I
gonna be awesome and switch it around.
don't know why you think you're almost there, but I like your confidence.
And time. It is Oni's turn, starting now.
I got them in their places. I used my valuable time locking them into collars.
You could have put them all in the wrong places, bud.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, that one definitely doesn't work there. Let's see what we got. Nope, that won't work there either.
Okay, another question for you, John. Do they have to
How
be,
do you
90'd like the thing is,
Uh,
or do they?
Any
they run-
orientation is acceptable as long
Okay.
as the spokes match on all points of their axis to adjacent tiles.
Mm.
So as long as like the arrow on the green and the white match, as long as the pitchforky trident thing matches on the right side, it's all good.
I think this
10
no.
seconds.
There you go.
That's it for Oni. Next we have Amon for 1 minute.
Do they have to fit caddy corner too?
No, I think only adjacent, like up, down, left, right.
Okay.
For this particular puzzle, there's a
So you
more
just
advanced
start on the
puzzle where
white one.
diagonals are also required.
They're all working.
My
Oh.
internet's just not great, so
I was having a hard time getting the blue dot too, so.
See, so it wasn't just me. Told you I was almost there. No, I'm almost there. Actually, I'm probably not.
I'm just glad that we don't have to do the corners because that would have been really
Yeah. Okay. We have them all
Sure.
matching.
Just confirming. That is what it appears. So they didn't manage to look at. As soon as the illusions are solved, they disappear immediately, vanishing just like a mirage, and there's a gentle click as the lid of the compartment ring just pops open under a small bit of tension. Swinging it open, I assume, on its hinges, inside you find a small scroll of parchment like you would see a carrier pigeon might send. Just a very, very small roll of parchment paper.
Yeah, go see if I can read it.
Visible.
Can I read?
Can I read? Move this to here. Give me 1 second.
set right there.
Did that work?
Yep, the reading on the bottoms.
This is a note that she either wrote to someone else or to herself.
I can't read that.
Could someone read that for Michelle?
I can.
I can't even see it.
Long have they pursued me.
you're in dark mode.
I assumed because of
Yeah.
who I am. Equally, long have I had the same vision of a mighty Tataract champion snuffing out the silvery white flame beneath a cloven hoof. I have never known the full meaning of this vision or its importance until one of my associates brought me this. Now it all makes sense. Now I know they will hunt me. They will eradicate all of us. They fear us, and they should.
Once that's done, the ring projects a fragment of the Book of Purification, the sacred text of the Silver Flame. And it looks like this.
We have a Tataract!
We do.
Would someone mind reading that for the stream
Yeah.
and possibly Michelle?
Chapter 33, Vigilance and the Ending of the Light. Long and hard have the old masters worked to keep us enslaved and beholden to their gods, to their kings, and to their society. Longer and harder must we therefore fight to beat back their oppression. Remember always that the chief figurehead of their corruption will be the malformed animal thing, touched, translated from the vulgar by their gods. Always will their beast seek to devour our flame and snuff out our light. He is an abomination to our sacred beliefs. He will not prevail. He will not succeed. We will triumph over his corruption. We will defeat him wherever we find him. We shall never suffer a Tataract to live. Rude.
Hey, we have
Ooh,
part of the crazy people's beliefs. Silver flames, fuck you.
Yep. Not a fan.
If only we knew someone with hooves. That really
Hooves.
clove it.
He
That's- yeah.
behooves us.
Yeah.
It would behoove you.
I'm gonna give that ring to Poppy
No
to put on
bullshit.
his hooves.
All right. I don't know what if you want to mull that over, what you want to do with that information, but that's something that we should have, as a group, had access to weeks or months ago. And I just
Well, it seems
want to
like-
remind you that it's there.
It seems like the further we get into this, the story mission here, we get further and further away from our flamey dudes. Also, whenever we saw the big flashing light, when we were heading over to, what was the area called?
That was
We're
on
going through the
trip to
desert.
Beijing.
Beiju.
Yeah, when we were heading to Beiju, yeah. Did we ever find out anything more of that? I don't remember, guys.
think
You
so.
have never found a satisfactory answer to exactly what that was.
Right. We had a couple theories, or what's that meta stuff we knew? I don't remember. It may have been meta.
I know that I haven't told you.
No.
Does
Okay.
Sari have any input into what's happening with this druid guy?
No. She says that in her travels, she's often found it best to leave things as they lie.
Huh, she's like her sister, just hiding
Yeah,
from
she
bad
did
stuff.
not want us to go and get that guy.
Bleh.
But now that we have him here, she certainly won't condone the execution of an unarmed prisoner. And for better or for worse,
That's easy to fix.
we are now, connected to this person. Previously, he was an unknown variable that we were hopefully going to ignore. But now he's a part of us, and we are a part of him. And that
He's my
complicates
magic
things.
sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm.
So she thinks it's prudent to leave him depowered for the time being, just because of the unknown quantity that he represents. That both the ruby gem and Horus themselves don't have enough information to make her comfortable with it. She doesn't like things that are unknown. She's become a very knowledgeable, very powerful person, and when there are question marks to her, that's usually a warning sign of impending doom and danger.
Exactly. So let's just execute it. We're done.
She reminds you that just
I
because
will not.
that we all are in the same pool now, whatever ripples we create or he creates, we share the same consequence of.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. We
Killing
can
him may
just-
be exactly what whoever left him there was hoping we would do if we found him. We might be playing into a hand we don't understand. Is her argument.
sometimes we gotta do what we got to do. Just saying, guys.
I imagine we could find out why he was originally sentenced to this. I agree. I do not want him to have access to his magic, but I also want to try to make him as comfortable as possible without removing the magic dampening.
I got
I think
another
for now,
option for you guys. I still have my potion of water breathing. I'll give it to him, and we can just toss him over. He'll still be fine.
Nope.
for now,
If it's
we're
going
just
else's
gonna
problem.
leave him.
Yep. We're
You
gonna
know,
let him stay in his
manacled
little
up.
stateroom, doing his thing
And let's do Sari's business.
This monocles.
with his
Yep.
monocles.
Bound by his monocles.
Yep. It's important.
Did we ever? There were the valuable slaves down below. Did we ever find out what they do or why they were valuable?
No.
Can we interrogate them and ask them whether they or what their special skills, why they were?
Oh, we should
I love the
probably-
character of
yeah.
Hoppy. I hate slavery. Free all slaves. Let's interrogate the valuable ones and see what they're
I was
worth.
just gonna say, let them
Well,
out.
no,
Let them
we
free.
already released them.
Tell
Talk
me
to them
why
till
you
they
should
learn.
live, slave.
What can you do other than row a boat?
And while we're
We're in the middle
doing
of the ocean. It's in your best interest to row the boat. But other than that,
that, are we confirmed heading in what Sari thinks is the direction to the lost land that we're trying to find now?
She says that we are on track as with the degree of certainty that the best degree of certainty she can be sure of.
Perfect.
She's 95% sure we're heading in the right direction.
Okay. I will stay out here on deck with her to make sure, again, of no shenanigans, because I don't like leaving her alone. If you guys want to go and talk to the slaves.
Going below deck, is it just Hoppy, or is anybody going with him? Since Hoppy may not be like the
We
best
should go with Hoppy.
representative of.
I'm gonna head to my
I'll
room
go
for
with
a minute.
Hoppy.
Okay. Downstairs, I guess we can show you on the map here. Not an actual combat scenario, but so you can visualize. Once we're downstairs, heading to the aft end of the ship, there were those personalized cells. They have been freed, but despite being unchained, they still prefer to stay in these cells because the accommodations are just better. And there seems to be not a resentment, but in a world where there were slaves that were treated brutally and some slaves that were treated slightly better, the slaves, now that they are equal, do not necessarily get along great. There's that. How come you weren't beaten every day and had to row a boat? Answering that question is pretty easy. As I explained before, I had to change tokens last minute as an audible because the female tokens were accidentally nip slipping. So the 3 on the left side of the map are beautiful concubines. Hoppy, they are some of the most attractive women you've ever seen.
I'm going down with Hoppy right now.
They were selected for their, almost otherworldly beauty. You don't, in the captain's mind and Captain Ripper's mind, you don't beat that. That would be tarnishing the goods. There was probably greater value to sell them to a prince, a sultan, maybe even a pharaoh at high price if they were unmarred. So they were treated well, pampered, left alone down here, hoping to one day be sold to some kind of royalty for an exorbitant fee.
Valley Girl,
They have
got
been
it.
trained in all of the courtly rites. They are courtesans in the truest sense of the word. For your purposes, I don't know how valuable that is to you, beyond them being beautiful women.
Be free, birdies. Fly. Fly far away from every man in the world. Don't trust them.
They can hold up the round cards
Nice.
at the arena.
They
We're
are
building in.
in the context of general human intelligence, these women would actually be significantly more intelligent, more educated than almost anyone else on this
Hoppy.
boat. Yeah, more than Hoppy for sure, but part of their courtly training would have been an understanding of mathematics, of history, of sciences, so that they could converse with a man in a way that would intrigue him. So they are quite brilliant, probably, as well as being beautiful. But in terms of possessing any, these aren't spellcasters or shamans or anything like that. Just very elite trained courtesan women. What snappy thing? Some people find that attractive.
No, men want to explain math to you. They want to be like, well, let me tell you how math works. Thanks. I had no idea.
All
Well-
right. So in the left side of the ship, we've got smart, sexy ladies. On the right side of the ship, there are 2 men. One is pretty young, maybe in his early 20s. The other is much, much older. He's got sort of not a hunchback, but he's got that 70-year-old rounded back where his chin is almost always touching his chest, and he's got sort of a hump developing, maybe some kind of scoliosis. Walks with a cane. if interviewed, they explain that the elder man is a master of trade. He was schooled in several large universities here in the Kingdom of Amon-Ra. He's a master of trade. He understands tax laws. He understands commerce in a way that very few people do. Approaching the genius. He said that he's been kept in the company of Captain Ripper for the last 4 years, helping him decide what best trade goods to steal, which ones to pass on, and where to sell them for maximum profit, which he thinks is a squanderous waste of his true talent, but, slaves don't get a say. And the other man is like a polyglot. He speaks, in his estimation, over 100 languages and says he just feels the pulse of Geb.
What does the older man want to do? Where would he feel? Would he be better off running a trade bazaar? Would he
He tells you all
run
that
the
he
trade
really
empire?
wants for anymore is to die free with the sun on his face, which is
Okay.
both poetical and kind of sad.
Have you seen my friend Lone Water?
He says that he's not sure where we're headed, but the next time we reach a large port city, he'd love to go ashore and just spend a night in a very expensive inn,
And then off
have
himself.
a delicious meal, and maybe just die from the ecstasy of sleeping in a bed and having a warm food.
Yeah, that's a
And
possibility too.
the polyglot will come in handy. Was there anything that we needed to um, have somebody translate? I don't think so. Sorry, I was thinking about the reliquary journal because there were other languages in there, but we don't need that anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Okay,
His
cool.
name is Masika and tells you that he's happy to help whenever possible. That he's, despite his captivity, despite his unfair treatment, he has enjoyed seeing the far corners of the world, and increasing his knowledge base is always a good thing.
Do
Like
we have an
he's like a sun is always shining kind of guy, very upbeat personality, bright side of life.
We definitely need that kind of thing.
Wait.
We got Renan over here all angry all the time. Yeah, this is good having a nice friendly people.
do we have names for any of the others? And what do the courtesans want to do? Do they have any goals in life other than to be a courtesan?
They're super smart. Yeah, they could be, Draco's Grottos,
Boy.
yeah, handle all that. I see Meg obviously agrees.
One can run the inn, one can run the diner, one can run the
Exactly.
arena.
No,
They don't
fuck
have
you.
a specific purpose in mind. This time on the slave ship has given them some pause, some measure of self-reflection. They were trained their entire lives for just this one thing, and in some ways, like, they almost want to go through with that and find, a sultan or a czar or a pharaoh and become what they were meant to do, like, as a fulfillment of their entire lives. Um, but you can tell there's like resistance there now that they've seen, some of what the real world is outside of the schoolhouses and the training halls. What real life is like is a lot dirtier and a lot more real than they were ever really instructed about. It wouldn't take much to convince them to either flee or return with you to safety, but at the moment they are still stranded on a ship that's headed towards uncertainty.
Yeah.
You also get the impression that you are sort of being not charmed, but sort of worked by some of their courtesan training, in that, like, they're just unsure of their survival stats yet, so they're just doing the whatever is going to work best for you is how they can serve best.
I
Okay.
like
You
these
feel
ladies.
implied.
I will make sure they know they can leave whenever they want, and
Because of the implication.
if they have any trouble with the other slaves, let us know, or the previous slaves, let us know, and go back up, I guess.
I give I give all 5 of them the opportunity if they would like. We're starting a nice little business up in Lone Water. It could be very profitable for everyone involved. They're 100% added to the guest list. That's right. Yes. Yep.
I think it could be very cool. Like, instead of finding a sultan, they could be their own boss and make their own decisions, but they could also be incredibly wise and like
Work for
be
me.
our source of, underground information gathering. Because I imagine with their services,
And
they would be very good at gathering information.
I mean, I know we were talking about trying to keep it, on the DL overall, but they could also be a great draw for the grotto. Just saying. All 5 of them, in their own ways.
All right, I'm adding them to the list. We'll have to revisit it.
They have
to
no
see-
choice.
We'll have to revisit it to see if they decide to go or if they don't want to go.
That seems perfectly fair.
And then, the
And-
grunts that we got rowing away, hey, we need grunts to, do stuff too. It's
We
all
didn't get
paid
the old-
based on what, people bring in, but we'll do what we can.
I don't
We
know how
didn't
to
get the
spell
old
cortisone.
man's name.
Let me get my binder. Be right back.
It doesn't really matter.
You shouldn't be able to hear us. You should be able to hear everyone else though.
Hey, we can hear you.
Oh, good. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
Sorry, I did not expect to need this. His name is Kafir. Kfir.
Okay. Like the lime?
Is that a lime?
Yeah. I think it's Keffir.
I don't know how
Anyway,
John spells it. This is the guy's name.
my question was, could I wanted to ask the Kafir if he could get for one last trade, if he would find out how much the material on the boat is worth, and we'll split that amongst all the freed slaves.
He nods in agreement and will begin his calculus.
Obviously, it probably depends on where we can get the best ones. Okay, that's it.
So where are we keeping our guy you won't let me kill?
That
I
is not for
assume-
you to know about. He is safe
It's a very
inside.
small boat. It's a very small boat. I think I would figure that out pretty easily.
The only room that has a guard that you're not allowed to go into.
Who's
Maybe we
guarding
could-
him?
Take one of his manacles off, and then Draco and him can each wear one.
Ooh.
No.
All right. Up on deck now. We've been sailing north in the Great Sea for, this is the second day now, coming up towards the end of the second day. The sun is setting. Does anybody have any end of day duties before I push you into the next day?
Just kill the guy.
Mm-mm.
Can I kill the guy?
Nope.
How about now?
Nope.
Hoppy, you notice that Andy has taken a shine to Olmec, and keeps visiting him and nuzzling him. And as you pay closer attention to it, it appears that Olmec keeps whispering something to him, and it almost delights the bird. The griffin dances around every time Olmec speaks to him. At one point, he's even on his hinds with his foreclaws up like this, dancing around, pirouetting, using the lift from his wings to almost become weightless as he spins.
Will he tell me what he's doing? I'm gonna tell him that we found him as a pup, and I've been caring for him all this time.
Olmec nods his head and says, "Yes, he's told me your story."
You can talk to him.
He just nods and says, anyone can if they listen well enough.
Can Masika?
He's if Masika is willing to learn.
I've wanted to train him. I know that at a certain point he'll be grown and can be a danger to others. I wanted to have him trained. Do you have any information on how we can do that?
He takes the fish head that's been sitting on the deck for a little while. Like, it was obviously going to be Andy's reward. And with all the force Olmec can muster, he throws it off the starboard side of the ship, good 100 yards. And without missing a beat, Andy just leaps off the deck and goes after it. The boat is now going in the opposite direction, basically 90 degrees away from Andy, and there's that sort of like lump in your throat for a minute, like, what? This is your pal who just went flying off the wrong way. Will he even find his way back? And Olmec motions to you to come closer. He's still seated because of his tiredness and his injuries, and he whispers in your ear, Antero Timentu.
What?
Poppy straight.
He says it to you again and motions for you to try it, but he's doing like this vocalized thing.
Scream it.
I'll try. I'll repeat it. Antero Timentu.
He shakes his head no and tells you to take your hands and make them like talons. And he says to purse your lips like a beak.
Antero Timentu.
He says again.
Antero Timentu.
Suddenly, Andy stops splashing in the water, screeches, and just bats his wings in this like ballistic arc. He just comes sailing right back to the ship, sitting at your feet, drops the fish head.
Oh. Can you teach me anything else that I can train him, or anything else I can do to train him?
He says, in time, perhaps we can learn more together. That's all that Andy's learning as well.
Very cool. Good, Andy. Have some placid desert sausage.
Gross.
Ew.
Well, we had a lot of it.
An excess. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
Andy's happy. You have learned a new trick. The
I'm
druid
gonna
Olmec will
practice with
help
him.
back down to his stateroom if Renan's available.
I'm right here. What are we doing?
He needs help back to his room.
I'll take care of it.
Nope, I got it. Taking him back to his room.
Ew, creepy.
I like sugar magic daddies, okay? Stab
I
it,
should-
Draco.
Should
I
we take
keep an eye and
turns
follow him
guarding
down.
him, or can we use the consultants?
Say this
What?
to me again.
Should we set up a guard outside his room, or can we rely on the consultants for that?
I got first shift.
I would probably rely on the consultants for that. It's an important job, but we don't really need them for anything else.
I agree.
It'll give them some sense of purpose.
But there's 3 of them left, right? So maybe we put one of the non-Longtooths on it. Because Longtooth still needs to make sure that the ship is running smoothly from an operational perspective. Or we could put both of the other guys and then just let Longtooth run things.
Like, won't
is
you do it all by himself?
does Longtooth need help running the ship?
I just meant like in case we need to do something with sales or give
Yeah.
direction to the slaves. Like I feel like he would know enough to be able to give those directions on his own.
Yeah, in his if you consult him in his sort of broken half common, tells you Longtooth can sail boat under good condition, fine. In bad condition, Longtooth might need extra paws, but for now I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll have the
Longtooth
other
put
two.
number 2 and number 3 in charge of guarding prisoner.
Perfect.
Slave. Friend?
Perfect.
Evil man.
Guest. We'll call them guest.
He wants to know one more time on totem pole where guest is compared to consultant.
Low. Very low.
Guest low, consultant high. Very good. Then evening takes us. Everybody gets their long rest. You can recover all of your resources, spell slots, and hit points. Need just one moment to consider a thing. Middle of the night, just a few hours before dawn, Oni and Draco, you both find yourselves sleeplessly stirring. You can't get comfortable. There's a broad sense of anxiety that sort of takes you and won't let go. You begin to hear like a repeating cadence in your head, not unlike a rowing drum meant to sort of keep time. It's distracting enough that you go above deck and you find yourselves both emerging at kind of the same time with the same befuddled look on your faces. And in the pitch black of the pre-dawn sky, you can see ahead of you in the ocean a yellow line running almost along where the ship is traveling, sort of serpentining towards the north. And way, way, way off the port side of the ship, you can see a red line also serpentining that seem to converge somewhere off in the distant horizon. But each of you feel a deep affinity for some reason to these lines, and a way that almost seems like it's connected to you in some form or fashion.
You,
Like, am I trying to walk off the ship to get to them?
No, not a compulsion. Just like something
Okay.
about this feels homey, and just you've never seen such a brilliant, colorful line of magic in your life. It's just sitting there, just below the surface of the ocean. You can see it, and it jots off well past the horizon line.
Is it in the direction that we're heading?
Only the one that you see that's yellow is. The red one that Draco sees is not. It's closer to like perpendicular, but they veer off seemingly to connect in the distant horizon.
Since I noticed that Draco is also noticing something, I'm going to ask him what he sees.
you can't see it? It's a nice red. It's home.
Yeah,
It's like
you
it's
both
like
can see the described line. He sees a red line, off to the port side. You see a yellow line straight ahead, but neither of you see the other, and no one else on deck seems to see anything.
it's home. It's going, left to right basically. Right?
And I'll explain what I see. So, do they intersect anywhere?
Their trajectory certainly seems like they're going to hit each other at some point. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to alert whoever is currently manning the wheel for the ship to start heading toward the termination of the 2 points.
He
It's
can't
only
see it.
it's only a few degrees off of your current trajectory, but as you try to explain to him, there's the Longtooth at the helm doesn't see what you see.
Okay.
Through like narration and like a little bit more, a little bit no too far, a little bit back, you're able to sort of put him on that trajectory, but he's got no idea what you're talking about.
Although her and I, we got to try to communicate our lines that we're seeing to see where the intersection is, since we can't see the other.
Well, I imagine that you and I are both like giving him directions until we get to a
Right.
point where we feel like it's working.
There you go.
And I'm gonna wake up Amon if he's not already awake
Ah.
and ask him to keep an eye out and try to, tell him in the direction that we're going that Draco and I both see lines that we have directed the ship should go straight toward where the two lines meet, and that since he can see the farthest, we want him to keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'll go up on the crow's nest.
Do you
See what I can see.
You clearly don't see anything, do you?
Make a perception check for me.
Lots of ocean, but
Come
that's
on.
okay.
There's a shark still following us.
Are all of the sharks still following us?
No,
No.
he dispelled them with
Oh,
the zone
okay.
of truth.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. But the birds were out of
Yep.
range. Are the
We
birds
still have a
following
parade
us?
of birds.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Interesting. Amon, you do not see the energy ribbons that are being described to you by your family. Once you ascend all the way to the crow's nest, though, and you use your super peepers, at the very limit of your vision, coming up at what would be the limit of the horizon, there you see masts of multiple ships bobbing in the waves. They are turned 90 degrees to your position. And something about them is odd because they seem to sort of they seem to be listless. They're rocking both fore and back in the waves. And at one point, it looks like you see two of them sort of just bump into each other. But that's miles ahead and probably tomorrow morning's problem. Because you are also like our keen recall guy, would you make a wisdom check for me?
Hello, you there, Amon?
He's
I'm here. I'm trying to
trying to
find
figure out how his buttons work.
the button.
I have inappropriate comments.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
There we go.
You so wise.
As you descend from the crow's nest to sort of share with everybody what you've seen, you do recall reading in one of the Surviving the Sands gazettes that the island you're searching for was allegedly built on the nexus of 4 elemental ley lines,
Hmm.
and it was posited that this island may have been either created by or certainly at one point a home for the early elementals.
Told you.
That might be what they're seeing is some of those ley lines.
Cool. I mean, I'm just gonna relay all this to everyone so everyone knows what's going on.
Well, everyone else is asleep at the moment.
I suppose it's possible we woke them up once we sent him upstairs.
Yeah.
Or up to the crow's nest. But that would make sense. As an earth genasi, I might be able to see the earth element.
Give me the fire. Which I'm kind of disappointed in myself. I need to set more things aflame.
Just not the ship. Not the ship.
It's the only thing that burns. I can't set water on fire.
Really.
Or can I?
You can practice. Draco, go set the ocean on fire. Just practice for a little bit.
Don't tempt me.
Like with enough energy,
Yeah.
anything is potentially flammable.
So I'm just gonna relay all of what I'm seeing and understanding to everyone, and looks like we're
In the right direction.
on our way. Yeah.
Okay, so while we're doing this, I'm guessing it's a little later in the day now. Yeah.
The sun hasn't come up
It's
yet.
it's we're still pre-dawn. If we advance the story a little bit, we travel a few miles to a point where everybody on the horizon from the deck level can see these ships floating as the sun rises. They become even more obvious, sort of just dots on the horizon line that are just bumping into each other, floating listlessly on the ocean. But it is now dawn. Anybody who was asleep is now woken by the sunlight.
I want to ask Sorry what this is, if she has any more understanding than I do.
She does not, but she tells you now that we're closer to see if the ships bear a mark. She suspects they likely will.
But Mark,
Would you like to use your telescopic vision again?
sure.
Tune in Tokyo. Pew! Our ship does bear a mark. um, you can see, at least on the two vessels that are turned 90 degrees towards you, like in sort of like a cannon firing position, uh, where there would be the prow figurehead. Instead, is a large, three-dimensionally constructed rendition of the silver flame that looks like the silver flame that were added to those masks on the cultists you fought in the arena weeks ago.
Perfect. We get some more fun guys to hang out with. Yay!
Sorry, is this the Mark you were talking about?
She nods.
Do we expect trouble?
She shakes her head. No, those men won't be a trouble to anyone.
That's for damn sure. The last ones
What
weren't.
about the women?
And the children. They murdered them all.
Women.
The ship is now getting closer. Following that trajectory, you're gonna not quite ram these ships, but like gonna be passing very, very close by them. We are close enough now that everybody on the deck of the ship can clearly see that there are three ships that have sort of just been sort of flotsam and jetsomed together. They keep smashing into each other. One of them looks like they've cracked a small portion of their hull and is like slowly listing as it takes on a little bit of water. As its mast crashes into the other ships, they sort of help keep it propped up a little bit. They've sort of just become like a makeshift hobble raft. They all three of
Are
them
they
bear
anchored?
that silver flame insignia. No, they're just randomly adrift. They, you know, ebb and flow with the tide. One of them is slightly akimbo, having taken on some water. The other two seem seaworthy still.
Do we see anyone moving about?
Do the
There's-
lines, Oni or Draco, do the lines you're seeing move past this, or is this where they converge?
They move past this.
That's just in the path of where we're headed towards. Gotcha.
Correct. And there's no activity on the deck that anybody can see with like just plain sight. There's no obvious crew members on deck. No one in the crow's nest.
So,
Well, we are
Do
certainly
some
not stopping.
pillaging.
Hey, Draco wanted something to light on fire. Just light the whole thing ablaze as we go by, because we are not stopping
Oh.
to rescue Silver Flame people.
there
I don't
could be
think
other
there's
people
anyone
there. And you know, Hoppy may want to check it out. You never know.
Well,
Should we do some pillaging? Should we light them on fire and keep on our way?
I'm game for lighting them on fire, but there could be treasure there. You know, 3 ships out here in the middle of nowhere.
I'm curious about the note that we found in the ring. Obviously, they think that I'm some sort of badass, which I am, but you know. But do we really want to? Is this the right time to look or to see if we can find more information. I'm kind of interested in checking it out, but at the same time, I don't want. We're not gonna rescue anybody from them. They're the Silver Flame assholes. So,
But it could be people being left out here because of them.
it could
It
be
could be
they
more
could
reviews.
have slaves or Tataraks that are.
Let's go check it out. I say let's go check it out.
It's a trap. It's a trap, friends. It's just a trap.
It's definitely a trap. But
I like traps. Hey,
Well,
we always get ourselves out of them.
Oni has never shied away from a fight, so if the group wants to stop and check it out, we can. I leave it.
Then again, the last time I went to try to help somebody, I ended up wanting to kill him. And you guys don't let me, near him. So I'll stay on this ship, just to make sure everything's good. I'll be your guys' backup.
All right, someone has to.
you're coming with us.
Someone, I was gonna say, either you come with us
I'm
or
not
someone
leaving
has
it.
to stay to watch you.
Okay, there you go. You two of us can stay here. The rest of you guys go over there, check it out. Sounds great.
All right.
Wait, do
Split
we
the
have a
party.
way to
Do you want to
communicate?
pull our ship alongside of one of the derelict vessels, or do you want to take a rowboat over, leaving the payday free and clear?
Nope.
I think we should do a.
Balls to the walls, baby.
I mean, we don't want to get stuck in whatever is keeping those things together. So maybe ride the dinghy.
Oh, just go alongside from outside. Rolling for?
To see who has to stay and babysit Draco. Although
Babysit
I
Draco.
rolled twice,
Goes
I
for-
didn't mean to. So 10 is the number to beat right now if you want to go to the ship.
We're rolling a d20 for this?
Yeah. If you want
You
to
guys,
go.
I just want you to know, and I'm sorry, stream and TMI, I am having death cramps right now. My body is trying to physically
Oh.
kill me.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's
That
cool.
sucks.
It's okay. I took drugs, but I'm just waiting for them to kick in. So if you see me like freaking out, I'm just trying to not crumple into a ball
And doing the
or
rocking,
vomit.
like sometimes in
Oh.
fetal position, sometimes stretch out, sometimes
Yeah.
sitting sideways. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sitting.
so
I'm sitting
that's
like
why I
this
was
for the same
standing up.
reason.
Sitting down.
All right, so Mon has to babysit.
Welcome.
And I'm a fucking badass bitch, but my body's trying to kill me.
I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry.
I like
I'm
the
so
elbow
ding-
on the bar, Michelle. Let me tell you something. There's tough swimming with bow-legged women.
All
I
right.
was your age. I was twice your age.
we're,
I've
get,
had 2 babies all natural.
we're getting on
I
the ship.
can't handle cramps. My body's falling apart physically.
So I think now that we're splitting the party, I think it's even more important. Do we pull up alongside them in
I say
our boat
rowboat.
or rowboat? Problem with the rowboat is if we get in trouble, we're not going to be able to get back up. And
But-
I mean, you guys, we balls to the walls it. Like, we're not the
Huh?
rowboat people.
Can
Yeah, we
Let's
are.
just-
can Draco
I-
just summon his fire guy and teleport us to the ship?
We gotta get really close, like 15 feet close.
Really close, but not like.
well, but that's doable in a ship.
That leaves an air gap, yeah.
Okay, yeah. We could
Done.
do that.
Let's do it.
15 feet it is, teleporting
How-
across. Can I get perception checks from the boarding party? If you want to go aboard, I need perception. If you're staying put, you can just stay put.
Sorry.
I'm staying put.
Oh.
Well, if you're staying
Wait,
put, then Amon
Amon
can
can
come
come.
with us.
But they may
Yeah, I
have
don't
traps,
trust
so they may
Drake,
need
though.
you.
Yeah, we
They-
just
they-
needed somebody to stay.
They may need traps though undone. You're gonna
Well,
let
then, looks like maybe you should have a different fucking Roger.
Maybe you should trust your brother. That's all I'm saying.
I do. Just holler at me. Send me up the bat sign, and I'll come rogue for you.
All right. As you blink across, you arrive on the deck of the closest ship. This is the one that is not taking on water, but is supporting the mast and partially the weight of the one that is semi-capsized. You like wait for that, like, okay, ambush is coming. Draw swords. Nothing happens. There's no presence. You take a few steps to explore the deck. You can hear the hollow echo of your footfalls on the deck. The below deck seems and sounds totally empty. As you explore the ship, you do see signs that someone has recently been here to pick it clean. Maybe one of the Sons of the Seven pirate vessels, maybe the vessel that stranded Olmec, who knows? But it looks like everything of value has been picked clean from this ship. Below deck, you do find a wardrobe closet full of crimson robes with the silver piping that are the cultist vestments of the worshippers of the silver flame. You find the prow figurehead still intact, the monuments to the silver flame. There's ritual prayer items related to the silver flame. There are an abundance of silver masks. But aside from the regalia and paraphernalia of silver mask worship, there seems to be very little else of value beyond the ships themselves. There's no people, there's no crew, there's no slaves, there's no weapons, and there's no suggestion of where they all went. Like, even the ships, like emergency dinghies, are still tethered to the vessels.
I think we should. We Is this ship? Which ship is bigger? Is this basically the same size as our ship?
Yeah,
sorry,
relatively
what's
speaking,
the name
all
of
sort
our
of
ship?
galleon size. The Payday is the name of the ship you've borrowed.
If Amon is with us, can he use his see-through things sight to scope out the lower decks of this ship before we move to the next one?
Repeat the first half of that sentence.
If Amon is with us, because Renan stayed on the ship, can he
Sure.
use his see-through
My
ability?
X-ray vision,
Mm-hmm.
just to look through all the ships and see if there's anything.
Sure.
Or human.
I can do the blue light special really quick throughout this ship.
To shortcut that process, the cargo holds are completely empty. There are some partially emptied water barrels and some expired food rations. There are lengths of rope. There are anchors. There are some, like rigging and repair materials. But there are no weapons. There are no trade goods. There are no people. There are no valuables beyond what I've already expressed that are the items typically used in the worship of the Silver Flame. These are perfectly seaworthy vessels, except for the one that's partially capsized, that still had food and water on board for weeks of a months-long journey. There's just no crew, no weapons, no
Maybe
goods of
something
any
else
kind.
is taking out the silver flames. Cool. Maybe we have allies out there. This is good to note.
We should cut off the ship that's capsized, so that this ship can at least be anchored and set adrift where it won't eventually collapse itself. But do we need to go over and search that ship before we do that, or was he able to X-ray vision it?
I'm giving you that all three ships are in the same sort of barren, disused state.
Then
Perfectly
let's.
seaworthy
I think we
vessels,
can leave.
but empty, except for like
How
the
can
bare
we?
minimum required to use them.
Yeah. How can we disconnect the one that's sinking from the other two, such that? Well, do we have enough people to take one of the ships? Could we
For
send
the
one of the
people that
ships
don't want
back
to
to?
proceed with us,
Yeah.
So you have barely a skeletal crew for the ship you have. If you let
Yeah.
most of them depart, then you're just basically using the party and maybe one or two other people. You'd be in a very tight spot to man a ship of that size.
I'm
Let's
still
just
just
leave 'em,
inclined
guys.
to
Yeah.
let Draco just burn them or sink them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Let's get rid of the evidence, and now we know. Oh, take some of the cloaks though, in case we want to.
Yeah, we'll gather up the
Disguise.
supplies and then have Fire Guy teleport us back to the ship.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
take what we can, enough for our party to hide, to cloak up, and then burn them. But it's a good note to say, hey, they've got more than just us as enemies.
Can we find a way to sink it instead of burn it? Because if we burn it, the smoke clouds might attract other ships in the area, and if we're trying not to draw attention, I think it'd be better to just sink them.
I got you.
All right.
Yeah, all
I
he's
have
got to
the-
do is
Hulk,
punch a
Hulk
hole
smash.
Yeah, if I can get close to the water line, I've got the knuckles of knocking. Give me I think twice the damage to the hull, so I should be able to knock a hole.
And maybe Draco can give you an assist with water walking so that you don't get sucked into the water
That would be
and drown with the
helpful.
ships as they sink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who would do
Well,
that?
I mean, I'm not. If I punch a hole in the boats, they'll sink slowly
You could
enough
always
that
use
I.
the immovable rod too, I guess, if you just secured the
Yeah.
movable rod first so that you could have one hand on that
Yeah.
or something. Okay. I'm all right with
Can
that as long as
we-
you have a plan to make sure you don't get sucked in.
Do we have water walking, or should I take the boat and the movable rod?
Yeah, water walking.
One moment, please. I'm having technical issues. Okay. Sorry. I think I've got it under control now. The you want to TK punch the ships just below the water line so that they scuttle.
Yeah, I'm actually okay with punching it directly above because eventually the waves will knock it or will enter the boat and then so that it may live for a couple days or a week, but it's not going to live for much longer than that. I'll punch a hole right at the water level.
Okay. Is the plan to dedicate like one punch per vessel then?
Yeah, I can do that. Well, I don't need. I can use charge to become a siege engine for 1 minute. So I figured if they're close enough that I can do that, that's 10 rounds to knock holes in all of them.
Okay. You just want to basically like water walk from ship to ship.
Pretty much, that's my plan. Assuming Draco's willing to help.
Draco, are you playing nice?
Um,
Where's that? Always whisper rolls.
oh, that was supposed to be whispered to Zach. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
Yeah, you sucked at that,
Oh,
mister.
it is what it is.
I think we'll forgive him.
But it's
I
an
want
important
that
thing that
box.
everybody should know. On a character sheet, there is a way to always whisper roles to DM. Everybody should familiarize themselves with how to do that in the event that you want to send me things.
Oh, is that on the settings page?
Yeah, the cogwheel. So you got
Okay.
core bio spells, cogwheel. On the far right column, like third or fourth item down, should say whisper roles to GM, and then your options are never whisper, always whisper, whisper
I
toggle.
found it. That was horrible.
Okay.
Draco is still up on deck, right?
When Hoppy turns to ask Draco about water walking, it occurs to all of you that Draco is not with you.
Renan, you're supposed to be watching him.
No, I'm not. Draco was. Oh, I don't know what happened.
You literally.
I was doing something with my new boyfriend.
That
I'm sorry.
sounds right to me.
Yep.
Renan, you were
Renan,
lost in
go
a
find him.
daydream, and as you hear people on the other ship just making a kerfuffle or commotion, you realize that the room that you're on the ship, the deck and the forecastle, are covered in a dense layer of fog that seems to have come out of nowhere, significantly hindering your ability to see anything on board the ship. You do hear footsteps for a moment, and you swear you heard Draco's voice say something in Druidic. But that's
I
all
don't
you've got.
speak that.
Yeah, he's gonna kill the dude.
He's not going to kill the dude. I think it's the flame people. Relax.
He's gonna kill the dude.
He's gonna kill the dude.
Okay, so.
Go find him.
I'm doing it! Jesus. Okay. So do I notice anything about the fog? Do I go down? I would like to go down below decks and check on my boyfriend. First and foremost.
The entire area of the ship is covered in fog, so we will treat that as difficult terrain. So you're moving at half speed, and you can barely see your hand in front of your face. It takes you 15 20 seconds to find the railing that leads you downstairs. After about 10 feet of descent, you emerge from the cloud. The cloud itself seems to have been like a perfect sphere, almost as if it had been deliberately conjured on the deck to obscure you and the entrance to the downstairs hold.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a locked door between you and your druid older man.
Then I would like to unlock it. Thank you.
There got guards there. Too. You got 2 guards still guarding, because they're guards. They guard stuff.
I would like to unlock the door and ignore the guards. They're on my side.
Thing 2 and thing 3 do tell you that Longtooth told them to not let anybody past here. He said there was strange weather. There was a cold fog and some weird whispering. But they just can't trust anything right now, so they're going to ask, ma'am, could you please take a step
No,
back?
Longtooth takes
ma'am.
orders from me. No, Longtooth takes orders from me. Back the fuck up before I bewitch you.
So thing number 2 says, oh, okay, well, here's the totem pole. And Longtooth
No,
gives me
stop
orders,
talking.
and you give
Don't
Longtooth orders.
mansplain me.
But if you give Longtooth orders, then he can give me orders. But right now, Longtooth said I'm not supposed to let anybody through here. And so until he tells me otherwise, ma'am, I'm going to need you to take a step back.
I'm going to pretend to walk away, and then I'm going to sneak by them. I'm going to go back up, and then I'm going to sneak back down on the ground in the fog because I am who I am.
He reminds you to not get emotional, ma'am. There's no reason to get emotional about this. He calls for reinforcements. We've got a hysterical woman. She seems very emotional.
You hysterical!
Going upstairs and coming back down, you break line of sight, so I'll allow you to make a stealth check.
Yeah.
I hate you.
You
Sort of-
forget who I am. You can't hide from me, bitch. You can't, I got this. I'm the Wraith, motherfucker.
Batman style stealth, like there's they can sense footprints and heavy breathing, but they just heads on a swivel, whirling around. They can't see anything. Over here. The guards are distracted. However, there is a locked door that's going to be difficult for you to pick without them seeing you. If that's your intention, I will need another stealth check at disadvantage.
God
Well-
damn. Oh, it's disadvantage. Okay. Whew.
Did you say something, John?
No, I'm debating. I have to roll it. They would get active perception. No. You juke them well enough, you confuse them, terrify them enough that you are in the midst, right between the two of them, pitching the doors lock and they don't even see it. Which is pretty baller. You open the door and find Draco standing over the man in his bed, and Draco's dagger is stuck into his chest. As you open the door, it's like sliding deeper into his chest cavity, but the sleeping man hasn't awoken and isn't moving. I feel like that's good, but I can't hear a word of it.
You throw your short bow at me after I'm.
Okay. Draco, while you're trying to stab this man, there's no resistance. He hasn't woken up at all. Your dagger is effortlessly plunging into his chest. You hear the door creak open and you look. There are two guards silhouetted against the fog, trying to figure out where the fuck they are and what they're doing. And you see just the hooded figure of Renan sitting in the doorway. She dodges to the side and just flings her short bow off her back at you, sort of like knocking you in the upper chest head area. Not like in an attempt to hurt you so much as like a "what the fuck are you doing" declaration, I imagine.
And I look at her like, "What the fuck was that?" And it's like, I basically tried to,
you can't just go rogue. Like, you don't get to just do what you want, Draco. We're a family.
I twist my dagger while it's in there. I'm like looking at her. What the fuck? I tried to twist the dagger in its heart a little bit more. I hear you.
No. No.
The dagger's already in him, and I'm shoving it down in, twisting it. He's got to be gone.
Well, I'd like to attempt to basically tie Draco.
Hold on. You twist your dagger, having plunged it like to the hilt. The sleeping body twinges and the muscles tighten, but he still doesn't wake up. And you start to see a small trickle of blood leak out from the wound where you've stabbed him, past the hilt of the blade. Not the arterial spray you were hoping for, though. Michelle, what do you want to do?
I want to restrain Draco. Like, tie him up, put monocles on him.
You want to grapple? You want to grapple me? I don't think you want to grapple me.
I want to lasso him or something.
If the intention is to wrestle him, it's opposed acrobatics or athletics, whatever you're better at, and then you each roll a contested roll. So Draco's athletics acrobatics versus your athletics acrobatics. High roll wins.
Fuck you. And everything. Sorry. F you. I don't like you.
No, you don't get to just do what you want. Roll. It's a game. Let's see what the dice say.
You said
Unfortunately, Renan grapples him. She's got him in like a headlock, sort of maybe Black Widow style, wrapping her legs around his shoulders, throwing him to the ground, and then
seriously, a 22
got him pinned to the wooden floor of the cabin pretty effortlessly.
I know my character really well.
I wouldn't say effortlessly. I still rolled a 16.
With some minor effort.
There you go. I'll take that.
I'm trying to see like what I have that I can like just restrain him until
the knife's still in him right now.
The knife is still in him.
Okay. He's gonna need some medical attention. You're kind of hurting the doctor here. Just saying. You don't want to hurt the doctor. I gotta help the guy. He's been stabbed. The guards, the guards that weren't doing their job. Someone come in and stabbed him. I was trying to save him. Okay, so we're grappling a little bit more. I'm gonna poke her in the eye so that way I can get loose.
Um,
Work that way, bud.
Captain
Poke
Insano
her in
shows
the
no
eye.
mercy. Mechanically, on each of your turns, to escape the grapple or maintain the grapple is the same roll. So, if he's trying to separate, then Ren and you make the same athletics acrobatics versus one another check.
I gotta actually probably do it so she can see what I'm rolling now, huh?
That'd be ideal, but not required.
There we go.
Uh,
Your
This
big
feels
chance.
great.
it was really close. Yeah, you do poke her in the eye, and she just headbutts you back.
Oh!
I'm
Maintaining
gonna
her
draw
grasp
my
on you.
dagger on him. I
Oh,
want to draw my dagger on him and put it to his throat.
oh! If you're going to start doing that, if you want to
No,
go that
I'm
route,
drawing my dagger. I'm drawing my dagger and putting it to his throat.
Okay.
And I'm looking him dead ass in the eye and I'm saying, I know this is important to you. I'm not ignoring you, but we make decisions as a family. And you are either going to be a part of this family or I will fucking kill you.
yeah. Let me see. Where's it at? Here we go. I'm going. Actually, that's not what I want to do. I don't want to hurt you. I'm telling you, I don't want to hurt you. But then you see my eyes turn to, the flame in my eyes get nice and bright. Where's it at? Where's it?
I mean, he called my bluff. I'm not actually going to hurt him. So then what I'm going to do is just go like lay on the man and say, fine, you kill him, you kill me too. If that's who you want to be, then you've made your choice and you'll have to live with the consequences.
And John, after figuring out that Draco was missing, I want to Captain Blood swing across to the other ship to try and get there for backup.
Okay. Do we have any line? Did anybody bring like a grappling hook or a boarding line?
Get something
Otherwise,
from
no.
the ship.
We
It doesn't
still have
exist already.
Fire
But
Guy. Can we ask Fire Guy to transfer us back?
I don't know. I don't know
I'm
if he
guessing-
works on his own.
Fire Guy
No,
took Draco
yeah.
back, and that's why he's not with you anymore.
Draco wasn't with us to begin with. He
Oh.
stayed on the ship, but Fire Guy was with us.
He kind of listens to me though.
Yeah.
But you're not there.
I mean, so
You didn't
it-
tell him
I-
to leave us there. He's still with us.
I have rope
It's
and the
I
immovable
mean-
rod. I can figure this out.
Ultimately, I think this comes down to, like, honest to God, is Draco going to kill me over this dude? Like, he's got to make a decision right now because he knows
Same
that
with
I'm
you there.
seriously.
That's
What?
with you. It's easy. If we're gonna do this, I'll just charm you and get you out of my way. That's all I got to do.
It's not.
Although with how my rolls are right now,
I know, but you realize that you are drawing a line between you and I that you can't come back from. I think is the bigger picture. Like, what is more important to you? Killing this person that you know nothing about except that your order is not into him,
I
or
know
turning
much.
your back on your family, which is a big
This
thing
is to
for us.
protect. This is to protect the family, though. This
You
this-
don't
this
you
guy-
don't know, and we've already drawn
With-
lines. We've
with
already
as
drawn
much
lines.
as what this
So
is, sometimes you got to do
you're
what the
choosing
family
your
doesn't
order
understand
over-
at first. You got to go for
you're
it. Like,
choosing your order over your family. And if this is who you want to be, then you have to live with the consequences. Because if you hurt me, Oni's gonna kill you. So choose who you are. Just make your choice. If really this is who you are, then just know that you're gonna be tough.
Okay.
I
It's
reach
gonna be
over
your
and
doing.
I reach over and I pull the knife right out of the guy, where his heart was, and just pull it straight on out. I'm like, well then he can heal himself, and I walk away.
There's no way you could pull the knife out. I'm on top of him, and I've outstronged you twice. You can't. This doesn't work like that.
I'm going for my knife to pull it out.
No, and I am stopping you.
Same contested roll: acrobatics versus athletics.
Give her a 1. Give her a 1. Give her a 1.
Oh no!
Damn it.
Can I please restrain him? Since I just critted, can I also restrain him?
All of these
Oh, roll on
rolls
the table.
were horrific.
Hog tie.
You reach for your dagger, and she arm bars you with like a gentle slap across the cheek. You are now arm barred, bent over the bed, sort of like on this guy's thigh. And you didn't get the dagger up, but he is still bleeding from the knife wound.
Okay, well, he's still bleeding. That's good.
At this
That is
point,
good.
can we?
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
something
cut back to their scene. Pause this scene. Crew on the other ship. You guys have had a few moments to react here. I'm gonna make a ruling that the wildfire spirit is a servant of Draco, therefore it would only act basically under Draco's control, unless Draco gave it the autonomy to act on its own. It will always just be an extension of Draco himself. And since I suspect Draco would not want to teleport you all back to the ship just now, the wildfire spirit would not be so inclined either. You can choose to hold that against the wildfire spirit somewhere down the road if you want to, but it doesn't have complete autonomy. It's basically summoned from elemental fire to serve as an extension of Draco's magic and will. So I think that's only fair.
In a sense, I could have cast him down here and teleported her out, by the way, just so you guys know. But I didn't. Just so you know. I'm letting her win right now.
I'm
all right?
assuming wherever the room is would be farther than the 15 feet that it could be summoned, though.
Yeah,
so.
but he could. We have a communication. He would come. He doesn't have to teleport. I just gotta get her out of the way so I can finish.
She could
doing my
also
deed.
just dimension door the guy away from you, and you'd never be able to get to them.
Which
But
is what I'm planning
she's
on
not very
doing.
good at that. She's not very good at that, though.
She's not very good at remembering she has it. That's true.
No, I'm gonna do that as soon as I had to contain him first.
I like the immovable rod rope swinging trick.
I can also jump 15 feet, or 20 feet, so I can make it back to the boat.
Yep. I like you leaping across Minotaur style, and I like Captain Arrow Flynn swinging across pirate style on the immovable rod. That's just a lot of fun. Yeah. In short order, the two of you thud on the deck. Oni, do you have a plan to extricate? Are you going to try to heroic leap, or are you going to swing on the rope?
Oh, I'm gonna leap.
Okay. Both of you leapers are proficient in athletics. Is that true?
Yes.
Acrobatics. I'm not proficient in athletics, but the rank is the same as acrobatics.
Then I am unfortunately going to need a roll from you, Oni, if you're not proficient in it. If you're proficient in it, I don't mind. I think that's fair, but...
22.
Nice.
What
Perfectly.
with everyone else's rolls? Oh my god!
You clear the gap, no problem. Sort of
We're not
tucking and
trying
rolling.
to kill anybody.
You're evil.
You race downstairs through the now dissipating cloud of fog, and you see Oni has armbarred Draco over the side of a bed. There is a dagger in the heart of
the Griffin Whisperer.
Olmec, and as soon as the room is full of people, there's a whisper and a shroud of deep lavender, like a dark purple magic aura, forms around Renan, and that energy dissipates, expands to surround the man on the bed, and with a boom, they both just disappear, leaving behind a bloody dagger on the bed and a arm bent Draco standing up, going, "Ow! What the was that about?"
Restrain him.
Wait,
What?
Are we muted?
No.
Did I just dimension a door out, or did that happen?
I did it. I did that for you because you said that was the next thing you were going to do, and it seemed like cinematic.
Well,
that was
I wanted to say something.
Sure,
I wanted
go
to
ahead.
say something before I wanted to just look at Draco and say, I cannot believe that you would treat me and the family this way after everything we've been through. And I'm like, you have drawn a line in the sand that I don't know if we can get back from. And then I'm gone.
I can't believe you don't trust me.
Nope, I left. Gone.
So
and she
see,
disappears with
clearly,
wounded Olmec.
clearly,
What's that?
she's bad.
Dimension Door has a range of, I think, 500 feet, so you can be anywhere on your ship or technically on any of the other 3 ships if you want to be.
No, I'll just move to the tip of the ship that we're on, and the rest of the family was running down below, so I didn't see them, right?
If you wanted to talk to him, I imagine you'd sort of see them entering the room as you left.
I'm just gonna give Oni the look, and do like a head nod so that she knows I'm just going up to meet me up there.
I'll follow her.
I'm gonna restrain Draco.
Why do you
And I'm just
automatically
gonna-
think it's me? You know, maybe I came in and stopped her from killing him. And she
And I'm
just
just
used the
gonna
door
look
to
at
tuck him
Oni.
away?
And I'm gonna tell her what happened. And I'm gonna say, like, I understand that this is important to him and he's important to us, but we made a decision as a family to keep this prisoner alive. And if he thinks that his own personal agenda is more important than all of ours, then he's not to be trusted. And we can't keep going with him. Because we don't work like that.
That's fair. But we I mean, we have to understand his perspective as well. I don't think that we have enough information about this man. I'm not obviously willing to excommunicate Draco over his actions. However, he absolutely is going to have
He's
to
totally
atone
out
for
of
this.
line.
Yeah, he is totally out
He
of
would
line.
have attacked me. Had I not backed down, I threatened to kill him. He called me a bluff. I never would have hurt him.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he
exaggerating
would've-
much.
You're
he
not
would've
there.
hurt me.
We don't know.
I'm going to step in for just a moment and do a little bit of narrating. Renan, as you teleport him through your dimension doorway to the bow of the ship, sort of in the open air, so that you could see threats coming, he takes one deep breath but doesn't exhale, and his eyes open for the first time since this all began, and he puts his hand on your cheek, smudging your cheek line a little bit with blood that was on his hand from clasping his own wound, and he tells you to not blame Draco so harshly. Nature has a balance to things. This was likely always going to happen. And then he exhales, and as he does, the blood that's dripping out of him becomes small, flowery tendrils like vines, creeper vines that grow all over his body and attach themselves, embedding into the wood of the ship. The vines seem to be consuming the flesh and blood of his own body to accelerate this growth of all of these vines. You have to take a step back because they are developing sharp brambles and you don't want to get poked. But in the span of less than a minute, he's gone as far as you can see. And this mound of thorny brambles is still growing, both into the prow of the ship and out of this mass. It just sort of looks like this big thorny bush. When all's said and done, the thorny bush has expanded to be about 6 feet in diameter and has anchored itself into both the sides and the deck of the ship, growing in like roots that have warped the wood. And at the center of this brambly bush is a small, well, large by your perception, looks like an acorn almost, like a large seed pod that maybe 5 or 6 times a minute just makes a soft thrumming sound and slightly illuminates and deluminates.
It's scary. This guy's really scary.
What the hell is happening?
Did his manacles get removed?
They are loose on the deck of the ship.
So somehow he
Put him on
got out
Draco.
of his.
What?
Put him on Draco.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Draco's not an idiot, so I'm like, well, there's more to this thing than we thought, and I know that he can't be trusted. I'm not saying that he can, but like to the point where we're gonna turn on each other. This is just like I'm out of my depth here. I'm so pissed off. I can't think straight.
You're definitely wearing at the ocean. Nice.
Was Hoppy able to restrain Draco?
Without there being a need for a roll, I like to imagine that all players would be willing to concede that eventually Hoppy would succeed in
Yeah.
grappling Draco.
Well-
Does anybody? Do we have to go through the minutiae of rolling?
No, we don't.
The problem
That was
with
my rolls. My rolls. Oh my god.
the problem with rolling is if I fail, I'm probably gonna rage and take your head off. So
All right. So if Hoppy is able to restrain him, I'm gonna go up on deck with the ladies, with the girls.
Oni arrives first, but a few beats behind, Amon finds Renan standing amongst this flowery, thorny bush. It's green and lush, but each thorn has got like a ring of bright red color around it, and the tip of the thorn itself is also red. It has grown like roots under a foundation into the ship, and at the center of this 6-foot diameter thorny red bush is a large seed pod, probably about 4 inches in diameter by about 8 inches tall. And it's roughly acorn shaped, and as mentioned before, it softly thrums like a very distant, very, very slow heartbeat. Wom wom.
Does anybody know what this
Wom
is?
wom. Wom,
Red
wom.
Briar.
Yes, but I'm trying to role play.
I mean, and I'm role playing as well.
I mean, unless
Are you saying Amon doesn't know things?
no, I'm saying I'm asking if you know what it is. If anybody knows what it is.
Someone with proficiency in nature would likely is the only person I think who would have any chance of understanding what this is.
Do we have anyone like that here? Oh yeah, he's being restrained at the moment.
Oops, not paying
I'm gonna bring him up on deck and figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, at least have my
Yeah.
dagger back.
Caleb, you're
No.
not sure. It definitely seems like this is obviously not a natural phenomenon. You've ruled out any chance that this was like a seed pod that was just, in his back pocket or something. This is very much some kind of druid magic, but you're not familiar enough with the circles of the order to know what this is.
I'm just gonna look at Draco and say, we are not okay. And turn my back.
Seriously, my arm. Ow. Overdoing it much?
Draco, do you want to tell us what the hell's going on?
I did before, and you guys didn't want to listen to me.
No, you didn't. You said all you said was he used to die. He used to die. That doesn't tell us anything, Draco. You're being a dick.
I've gone with you guys whenever you had your things you really needed to get done. This is something that needed to get done on my end.
You can't. Oh, we're a family. We're supposed to be a team.
Oh my
You have
God.
to explain things to us.
I have the rules today.
Yeah, dude, that
Um,
sucks. You're really not rolling.
Should I have had advantage on?
No.
No. Okay.
Sorry.
Damn.
Just taking a look at the spell, you don't know. I mean, you agree with Amon's assessment that it's obviously druidic magic, but it's not a spell you have
I
access
am
to.
proficient in nature, so
Does somebody have a inspiration token that could re-roll
yeah.
their nature roll?
Yeah. There you go. I got one of those. I'll try it again.
Oh,
Nice.
sweet.
Hey, 14 is the number I was looking for. The
So now I got one inspiration token left.
so
Thanks, guys. Love ya.
I would normally just narrate this, but since we have had sort of a confrontational PvP style session, Draco, would you disseminate this freely to the group, or would you like to know privately what it is?
Can I know privately first, then I'll let them know?
Sure.
If it's something that I think it would be good. You want me to go to the whisper?
No, I'm just gonna type it out.
Okay. Sorry. So, did you guys find anything cool on the ship?
Shut up, Draco.
What materials did we end up coming back with? We said that we wanted to grab the Silver Covenant stuff that
growth
was left
and maps.
behind.
He's typing.
There was nothing on the ship. We tried to ask for help sinking them so that they could go to the bottom, and you didn't respond. So we came back and we found this guy with a dagger in his chest and
Oh shit!
you being restrained. And he taught me how to talk to my griffin.
Well, guess what? This is such. Damn. So, I wonder. Hold on. I gotta ask John something real quick.
A griffin is a pretend animal, and I have one in the game as a pet.
You can keep your son.
Select Ghost
I am.
Griffin.
Okay. Well, I fucked up. I'll admit that to you guys. I messed up.
I'm sorry, what? Can you say it louder for the people in the back?
Well, see, okay.
Huh?
See, okay. Here's how I'm playing it. Well, I see what's going on here on board, and I go, well, shit. Okay, I messed up. I just released this guy.
No.
We need to get off the ship. We need to get off the ship now, and we seriously gotta torch this ship because this bulb right there, you see, glowing and pulsating. Yeah, that's him about to be reborn. We need to get off the ship now. It's going to be bad. If
You just released something terrible into the world that's not
Exactly.
going to be. Yeah, you
No,
did this, so we have to fix it.
Okay, well, you want to know how we fix it?
Put the
We
manacles
torch it
back
before.
on.
No, we torched this before he's able to form. We torched the entire ship. Let's get everyone on one of these other ships. We got 3 ships here, right? Any of them working? Close enough? Let's go.
I'm not
I-
hoping Draco do anything.
I don't trust you that much.
Okay, you don't trust me, but look, he had these manacles on. He was out here. You trust that part? And look, part of your own group is saying this is going to be extra bad if he gets loose. I thought I could get rid of him, but me being the idiot that I am,
Part of our own group that just turned on part of us?
no,
How,
you're the one that attacked
what
me.
is going on?
You attacked me. I was in
Because you
here.
were attacking him.
Exactly. Trying to protect the family, like we always say we try to do. I gotta
Why
go.
did you attack
We
him?
made a decision. We made a decision as a family. He disappeared while you guys went onto the ship. I figured out something weird was going on.
You
There was
attacked
a
me.
super dense fog. I opened the door to the room that our brother was in, that we agreed to keep alive, and he stabbed him. So I restrained him. I
Exactly. You
did not
attacked me.
hurt him.
But
I
again,
restrained Draco.
skip to the end. This is him reincarnating. It's bad. Like we gotta destroy the ship. Let's go. Let's flame on.
Where's Starry? I wanna see what Starry has to say about this.
She's standing at the starboard side of the ship, midship, with her hands both on the railing. She is completely divorced from the scenario and is staring off into the distance.
Sorry. Earth to Sorry. Come on. We need your help.
She turns back to you, and you can see the exposed eye has gold veins that are jutting out of her eye socket into her face, and almost like a moment of shame, she covers it up with her bare hand before she can get her eye patch over it, and says, "Sorry, I was looking at something. What have they done now?"
We're about to release some mega evil, so we have a chance to destroy it before it gets out of hand, and they're not letting me take care of it. That's what's happening now. Seriously, let's torch the ship. We have 3 right over here we can take. Everyone off. I'm doing my best. Here's my persuasion check. Fuck yeah. Finally something.
I just don't know how you expect us to trust you after the way you
Yeah.
behaved.
Because I'm very persuasive.
That's my problem.
Obviously.
All you're telling us is that he needs to die, and you're not telling us why.
Okay,
And
look.
so
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
not. It's not.
And
Okay, here's the thing.
he was under our
I-
protection.
Okay, shut up and listen.
And he
Here's the
made
thing.
friends.
We got the whole. He was sent out here, right? To die or to be restrained without any protection. That in itself is a big red flag, is it not? He had guards all around here.
It just means
Then
somebody wanted to kill him. It doesn't
Then
mean he needed to
one
die.
of your own people, one of the family, is telling you he's got to go. He's got to go. This is bad, extra bad, so
I'm not
bad.
part of
You
the
saying he's got to go does not explain the history, the reasons why. Like
We
that
don't.
doesn't give us enough information. We don't just kill people. That's not who we are.
He was perfectly restrained, and
Look.
you messed that up.
Exactly. I'm here to finish it, fix it. If you guys don't start moving, I'm gonna make you move. Here's persuasion. I rolled my persuasion. I rolled a 20, a nat 20, by the way.
It doesn't work like that. You can't just roll to. It doesn't work
mean,
like that.
So there is no such thing as like a Jedi mind trick in the game outside of
I know.
command.
I know. I'm just doing my best.
I would
Alright.
encourage everybody to play to really focus on role play and think as your character might rather than as your player might. The persuasion roll, I'm willing to remind you that this is Draco telling you that whatever he believes is not something that he's come to easily or come to lightly. Like, he's not lying to you, and he's like, that persuasion check is him just really trying to tell you
Being
that
honest.
maybe he can't articulate
But
his
he's also
position,
not
but he's
giving
certain
us
of it.
more. He's also not giving us more information
I
when
don't
he just
disagree
did a
with that,
really
yeah.
shitty-
That's because he's an idiot.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying he's arguing
No.
very passionately.
Yeah, I'm gonna just separate the two, Draco and Renan, and just say we need to get out of here. Like, if this is really a bad situation, we need to
Sorry, guys.
abandon ship and figure the rest out later.
That's
And
that's
I'm
not
gonna
just abandon ship,
I'm gonna
it's
take
destroy
the
ship. It's destroy
I'm
the
gonna
ship.
take the manacles and the little crown of thorns and put it on Draco.
Oh no, you're not. I am
And-
fighting that tooth and nail, and I'm producing. No, it's fireball time.
This
If
is
this is going to be the case,
this is
no.
until we figure out what's going on here. This is the only, or that's going to happen, or you're staying on this boat.
Yeah, everyone in
Thinking
the
cloud.
entire family
Everyone
I'm about to
in agreement.
cast
tackle you to
thinking
the floor.
cloud, which will. Here we go. Where's that
Until
stuff?
you start telling us what's going on.
Okay.
I hit the wrong button. My bad.
Before this devolves, let's just take a beat. Let's pause for a second. Let's by show of hands, it looks like Oni is leaning towards the idea of wanting to burn the ship. Let's by show of hands, who thinks setting the ship on fire is the correct course of action?
I put both
can't see
hands
it.
up.
How about type 1? Type 1 in chat if you think that there's some merit to the argument that Draco is making and that setting the ship on fire seems like a good idea.
I think he. So I just want to say that I don't know why he wants to do this. I see there's something going on I don't understand. I am willing to hear him out, but I'm not comfortable with him going rogue on us. So I'm going to require, in order to move forward on burning our ship, we need to get everybody off of it, and he needs to be in manacles, or he needs to be on a rowboat that I can tie 100 feet back so he can't get onto the ship.
I'm willing to go along with what Louise is doing, but I am still super pissed. me move off of this ship, but that is all I will do.
So, Draco, are you willing to be put in the manacles until you start making sense?
If that
Or-
means we set this thing on fire and not letting him out, yes, I'll take it. I don't care.
Okay.
Just we got to get going. Like
Okay. So
Everybody
then
off?
I'm gonna start helping everybody out of the ship.
wait,
And
before we put the manacles on, question: are we able to take the manacles off? Do we have the key for it, or are you guys going to screw me to where I'm stuck in these?
I mean, you were
I-
able to take them off of that guy with no problem, so I imagine.
No, we didn't. Weren't. We never tried because this is what was
I
keeping
don't
us
think
with
we should-
powers.
You loosened
What
them
manacle?
when you attacked him, is what John said.
They are, just for the record, like dug into his flesh. There's not a locking mechanism per se, except for what bound them to the chains. The things themselves are just like barbed hooks that submerge themselves into muscle tissue.
You would do that to me?
No, I wouldn't.
I mean, we're not
I
going to do
would.
that. He's the one that has to light the ship on fire. Why would you take our ability to
Yeah.
light the ship on fire away?
Yeah,
I
I'm
have
not.
a
I don't.
torch.
It's a blue flame.
See, Draco, we can replace you with this piece of wood.
And this piece of wood won't throw a rock at me.
See if
If
Lennon
you-
and Draco.
if he doesn't want to be on, have those on, he can teleport 15 feet.
Yes,
I'm
problem.
okay with him going on a rowboat and being
I'm
tied
fine
100
with him
feet back.
being on a separate vessel also. That's fine.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's just
That's fine.
get moving.
As long as we destroy this, we're good.
Okay.
Put the
Let's go.
dinghy on the dinghy.
Nice.
So
All right. We get everybody off of the payday onto the SS cultist.
Oh,
Everybody's been
I
evacuated.
assume we're taking the nicest of the three.
Is there such a thing?
You did
Uh,
say
well,
that
one
we're
of
just
them-
on a boat.
You did say
No,
that
it's
one
not the
was-
broken one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
one's
good shape.
broken. The
Well,
other
I
two
wouldn't.
are.
I wouldn't like gotcha. Ah, you fools! You didn't specify, so you've loaded onto the capsized vessel.
SS
They're all-
capsized.
Nope. You were able to move all of your stuff onto the ship that's roughly translated from arcane text. The name of the ship is Her Justice.
Heard that.
You move all the provisions, all of the treasure, everything you had on the payday is moved to Her Justice. And unless there are any last moment recusals, we are going to set the payday afire.
All of our people are with us. We don't need additional sails or anything like that. Everything is available on our new ship.
Everything that you had
food
has been transferred.
and food as well.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
I don't think this is going to work, but light it up.
Okay, I'm going to produce flame. I'm going to throw it at the ship, and
I
then
will throw a
control
torch.
flames. Both of them are, cantrips. So
Torches, flaming arrows, fiery spells all do the trick. The mast catches first, then the forecastle, then the deck. If you want to stay and watch it sink, it takes about an hour for the flames to have fully engulfed the ship, and
I don't.
it burns from the top down until eventually, like, the blackened mass of the deck of the ship starts to take on water and fully scuttles and sinks beneath the waves, hissing and bubbling as it goes.
dust my hands off. Okay, off into my little
Vote
dinghy.
for you.
Do I get a little bit of shade?
Uh,
I think
Yeah,
everybody
we'll
here's
give you-
throwing shade, yeah.
yeah, pretty much. No, we're not trying to hurt you. We're trying to
all good.
restrain you until you can explain.
Put him in
to us
timeout.
more.
Midnight
Yeah.
out. There you go.
So I'll help to make a shelter if he needs it on the boat. And just the fact that you're willing to go on the boat means a lot to me, because you that shows that you're fairly sure, or that you're doing the right thing. So maybe
And
after
Hopper's
a
always
day or
wanted to
so,
put you on a boat.
Right.
well, at least from there you can't throw a rock at me.
I got a pretty good arm.
All right, continuing on the path that we had laid out, having
Initially.
spent most of the early morning watching this vessel burn and sink.
Um,
I mean, go ahead.
are we gonna sink the other boats as well while we're here?
May as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Group?
they're all together. We're next to each other anyway. More
Yeah.
fire. I enjoy fire. So the more
Okay,
flames I
well.
can throw up, the better.
You got 2 more you can burn once we're clear.
Yeah, I do that as well. So all 3 up in flames.
All 3 ships up in flames. After the fire ceremony, after the great scuttling, you guys continue on, sailing north in the Great Sea, following the intersection of those 2 ley lines, until eventually the call goes out. Land has been spotted. Heading towards it, there's a disquieting moment where you can see the stony outcroppings of an island clear as day, not hard to see, not partially obscured, not shrouded in mist as you have been told, but just plainly visible. Oh, that is not right. I apologize for that.
Pretty though. I want to go there.
I am tempted to say that we're going to stop the session here.
Okay.
This is, according to Sari, the shrouded island of Chamenos. She tells you that she recognizes its shores as she's been here once before, and tells us that we will have to anchor far enough outshore as to not be detected and dinghy in.
Guess that means we have to let Draco back on the boat.
No, I'm sure
I'm
we
not
have
getting
other
anywhere
dinghies.
near Draco.
Yeah,
We have 2.
Draco can hang out on his own dinghy and make his own way.
All right. Yeah, I have to pause it here. I've got some things I have to consider before we go any further onto the island. We are down 2 players next week. Is that correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm gonna be. We may want to punt next week because I need to figure out what's going to happen on my side too.
okay.
I was
So let's
supposed
just
to be on
assume
vacation.
that we're dark next week. Then let me get up the scheduling tool here. We will be off the 30th, and come on now, stupid thing. And then on August 6th.
Should be.